This is Gemara Sanhedrin Daf Ayin Beis, and we pick it up on the bottom of Ayin Aleph of the Beis at the Mishnah. The learning should be an incredible zchus rafua shlema for Tinok ben Miriam Ahuva b'seir shar chayli Yisrael. And today, as we pick it up the Mishnah on the bottom of Ayin Aleph of the Beis, we finally get to understand the depth of this Ben Seir Umayr that perhaps many the past few days have been wondering, why are we killing this kid? What did he do so wrong? And the Mishnah addresses that precise detail. Says the Mishnah, Ben Seir Umayr Nidan al Shem Saifai is judged because of what will eventually happen to him. Says the Mishnah, what does it mean al Shem Saifai? Yomos Zakai, we rather someone die Zakai, Val Yomos Chayiv. We don't want someone to die that he's guilty. What does that mean? Shemisa son shel rishayin analehem. When one is a Rasha Rachman al their Misa is good for them. V'hana lo'ilam, and it's good for the world. La tzadikim, b'misa for tzadikim is ra'lehen, and ra'le'o'ilam, and is detrimental for the world. Says the Mishnah, once we're on the topic of what is good and what is negative for both Rishayim and tzadikim, says the Mishnah, we're 3 lines into the Mishnah, Yayin, when it comes to wine, Shino, when it comes to sleep, L'Rishayim Ano, Lehem Ano Leilam. L'Tzadikim, but when it comes to Tzadikim, Ra Lehem, Ra Leilam. Pizur, when it comes to dispersal, L'Rishayim Ano Lehem Ano Leilam. But L'Tzadikim, Ra Lehem, Ra Leilam. We'll see the Gemara, what does this mean? Kinos L'Rishayim, gathering together for the Rishayim is what? Ra Lehem, Ra Leilam, Tzadikim Ano Lehem Ano Leilam. Shakat l'Rishayim, and the Mishnah concludes tranquility is Ra'len Ra'laylam, but La Sadikim is Anal Lehem and Anal La'ilam. So says the Gemara, as we turn over to Ayin Beis and Aleph Tanya, we learned in a Brisa. Rabbi Yosi Agli Yoimer teaches Rabbi Yosi Agli v'chim ibnei. I'm sorry, I don't have the place. Here we are. Says Rabbi I don't understand. He ate a little bit of meat. V'shasa he gets killed. The Torah as creeps into his mind. That at the end of the day, what's he going to do? He's going to deplete all the money of his father. And he's going to try to maintain such a habit he'll not be able to. And he's going to steal. So Amra Torah says that before he gets to such a terrible place, we want to help him. So Yama Zakav Yamas Chayshav. He says Risham and Alahem and Alahem Sadikim Ralahem. And the Brisa concludes, like we learned to the Mishnah, Shina V'yayin, the Rishayim and Alahem and Alahem. Sadikim Ralahem Alahem. Shaka Chinkuli, the Rishayim Ralahem Alahem. Sadikim Ralahem Alahem. Peas being spread upon the Rishayim and Alahem and Alahem. Sadikim Ralahem Ralahem. That was just a nice synopsis of the Mishnah. We continue with another din of a Mishnah. If someone, a burglar, enters the house through a tunnel, we judge him on that which he'll do in the end. That the way that he's acting, he potentially could come to kill, so you'll have to kill him. If he's coming to the tunnel and he breaks a barrel, if the person robbing, the gazlan, excuse me, Yesh L'Dam is accountable, then what? Chayiv, then he has to pay for damages. If he doesn't have blood literally, then Potter, then he's going to be Potter. So says the Gemara, let's delve deeper. What exactly is going on over here with this din of Bab Bachteres? Amar Rava, my time in the Bachteres. Says Rava, what is the reason the Mishnah is ruling that Bab Bachteres, you could kill him? Why are you killing him? He's just a gazlan. Says the Gemara, as we spoke out, Chazaka. That one does not hold himself back from defending his money. And this guy, if he's a burglar breaking into my house, you know what he thinks? He has linan kaila pai. he thinks if I break in, he's going to confront me and he's not going to let me get in. So he thinks to himself, you know what I'm doing? I'm going to kill him. So says the Torah, if someone comes to kill you, Ash can get up early the So because his tendency, the way that he's robbing shows that he clearly doesn't care and he would even take someone else's life, you're allowed to kill him first. Amar Rav in the fifth white line above Machteres and Otal Kalim, the Yahtzee takes vessels and leaves pot. My timer, but Kaninu, says the Gemara, he acquires it with his blood. That since he's Lamaisa Chayiv, that someone could kill him, therefore he's going to be potter from the monetary restorations and obligations. Amar Rav Mistavr Milsa the Rav Vishashiva de Lasindu. This din of Rav is where the burglar breaks the vessels. The lesnayu, they're no longer here. Points out Rav a simple detail. Avol natal lie. But if he just takes the kalim, then of course he's obligated. He just has to pay them back. It says the Gemara, but no, even if he took them, and even if the kalim are still around, Rav holds he's potter. Why? Explains the Gemara, the Yishloi Damim, Vinensu, because Lamaisa, he is held accountable, you're allowed to kill him, and therefore what happens, Vinensu, and the items that are being stolen are lost, Chayiv, therefore the robber is Chayiv. So Alma, Bershusei Kaimi. So what do we see? We see they're considered in the robbers and the burglars and the Gazlan's possession, and therefore he is going to be Chayiv. So Chanami are also Bershusei Kaimi, they're in his possession, and therefore if you were to return it, he is compensating, and he's not returning the actual item. So therefore Lamaisi doesn't have to return it because there's no gain. It says the Gemara, this is an accurate that the fact that he, the robber, is chayiv is a chiddush akra, that he is chayiv klabe oinsim. Avle magna to say he is a kinyan b'reshut demarayu kaimi. No, it's not true. He does not have a kinyan. Just like me, they have a shol. The same thing we find by a borrower, that he's going to be obligated, but of course he does not have a real kinyan. So Tanan, we learned in a Mishnah Zaraya to Rava, Bob Machteres, Yeshiva Sachavis, Yesh Loidam Chayiv, and Loidam Potter. If he's Chayiv Misa, then he is Yesh Loidamim. If he has damim, meaning you can't kill him, then Chayiv, then he has to pay for the utensils. Ein Loidamim, meaning if he has no blood, meaning you could kill him, then Potter. Says the Gemara, but time of the Shiver, it's only caused the bite broke. The chiyin loy damim potter not al. But if he just took them loy, answers Gemara, no. What didn't feel not al nami? But the katani shiver is chavis. Gemara said the chayish loy damim avagav. The shiver is a chavis. Nami chayiv. Says the Gemara. Pshita, this is avi's maziku. He damaged so and so. Of course, he's going to be a chayiv. Al kamash l'on. The afilu shaloi v'kavana wasn't on purpose. My kamash l'on says the Gemara. What's the chiddush? Adamu alayla. We go back to Gemara Baba Kama. What's the chiddush? Of course, you break so you're chayiv. A person is always considered a muad. Tanino, we learned in the Mishnah, Adam muad la'ila beim shayim amazing. One is always held accountable for his actions. Beim ba'inus beim meratzin, even if it was unavoidable. Says the Gemara, Akasha is indeed Akasha on Rav. So after we have Akasha and Rav from a Mishnah, we try to ask another Kasha. What's Rabbi Barabaya from a Brayso? Going to kids be Shabbos on stills are while chayiv. Why? Sure, in his chayiving neighbor couldn't probably day Isser Shabbos. We do not have the klal of Kimle b'dirabinei, which I'm sorry I did not mention this in the Mishnah. That the klal that says if you're chayiv damim, that if you're going to be killed, you don't have to pay monetary restorations, is because the klal of Kimle b'dirabinei, once you're getting a higher punishment, you don't have to give a monetary punishment. So says the Gemara in Shabbos that going to have kids for Shabbos, if you steal a wallet, you're chayiv. Why are you chayiv? Because you were first chayiv in the Gneva. There was first a monetary obligation. Only afterwards is there the Isser Shabbos, which is the chayiv skila. But if you're dragging out the wild, then you're potter. And therefore they come at the same time. So you have the classical klal of kimlei b'diramine. So what do we see? We see that there's going to be no chayiv misa when the item that you stole is still around. So that's a kasha on Rava. Says the halacha is only where the river, the purse, the kiss is no longer in the river, and that's when you don't have to pay it back. But if it was, you would have to pay it back. And we conclude this first half of the Shia Rava Ignavu Lei Dichri b'machtarta, Rava, there were animals that were stolen from Rava because the robber came in b'machtarta in a tunnel. The burglar returned the item to Rava and he didn't want them. Amar, he said, once it left the words of Rav that you don't have to pay it back, that it's considered yours, Rava Lamaisa was at some level chayzer, or at least for himself, he wouldn't take back the stolen items. Says the Gemara, Tanur Rabbanan, 5 lines from the bottom. Ein loy dam im zarcha shemesh alav. Says the pasuk, if he has no blood, if the sun shines on him. Says the Gemara, shemesh alav. Bilvad zarcha, what does that mean? The sun shining on him? Ella. You know what the pasuk means? In bar lecha davar kishemesh, this matter has to be clear as day, as they say, like the sun. She'ein lo shalom imecha, that has to be clear that there's no peace with you, that this guy breaking in, he would potentially kill you, then Hargo, you could kill him first. But in Lav, if it's not clear to you that this robber could kill you, Alter Go, you're not allowed to kill him. Tani Yidach, another brisa. Im zarcha Hashem shalav, tamim loy v'cheshem shalav v'lvad zarcha, elim bar loy, kishem has to be clear as son. Sheish lo shalom yimach Alter Go, v'im Lav, Hargo. Says the Gemara, Kasha. This is Kasha Stama. This Brisa is the Kasha on the other Brisa. Answers the Gemara, Loi Kasha. As we turn over to Ayin Beis and Beis, why not? Kan ba'av ala ben, kan beben ala af. Says the Gemara, these two Brisas are not steers. Why? Because they're referring to two different cases. The first Brisa is ben ala av, and there is, av ala ben, and therefore the father stealing from the son does not have to think that his father will take his life. Whereas the second brisa, unfortunately, is ben alav, and in such a case, the father should assume that indeed his son is in a dangerous place and he could potentially kill him, and that's why he would be allowed to do so first. Amar Rav, called Asi Leibimachtarta, Katzlina Lei, says Rav, anyone that comes in through a tunnel, I'm going to kill him, Levar. Merav Chanina Bar Shila, my time. Ostensibly he's a tzaddik, but if the case was Luya Tori is coming through a tunnel, then he's clearly not a tzaddik. Because you don't think he's actually going to kill you, and therefore you would not be allowed to kill him first. Says the Braisa, if he, the one thing in the tunnel, has blood, what does that mean? Then you can't kill him. Bein b'chol, bein b'shabbos, ein loy dam, bein b'chol, bein b'shabbos. So bein loy dam, bein b'chol, bein b'shabbos, it's I would have thought. Me to have a bezdin, and maybe this is a similar din than bezdin having the obligation to kill someone. De b'shabbos loy katzlina, we can't kill them on Shabbos. K'mashlan de katzlina, you could indeed kill them. Eladamim loy, bein b'chol, bein b'shabbos, ashta b'chol loy katzlina lei. So b'shabbos v'bayi, what would the chiddush need to be that you could do it on Shabbos? So Amar Rav Sheisha, says Rav Sheisha, I'll tell you what's going on in Birlin. To clear a pile of heat from upon him. A building falls upon him, then that's going to be the nafkamina, whether you have to take it off of him or not. If it falls on the father as he was tunneling, then you have to remove it from the father to save his life. Taner Abanan V'huka quotes the Bryce. The pasuk says the person digging the tunnel was struck and he dies. Says the Gemara b'chol adam umeis b'chol misa shati yachal amisa b'esh l'v'huka b'chol adam mitzich tzadam ino bala b'hayis who did come lay dein adam mayim miratzmal mimah. No, maybe it's a special din in the bala b'hayis avlacher loy kamash malon. That's the chiddush that it even applies to a acher. Deroi devu v'afilu acher nami. Elo meis b'chomit shati yachal amisa lamli. What do we need that pasuk? Says the Gemara merutza nafka. You know, we need the pasuk for. We need the pasuk for. Excuse me. Rotzeach nafka. Titania. Mois yumas hamake rotzeachu. Eli alumis abura boy. Manayin shemati yachal amisa b'misa ksuva boy shati rotzei lamisa b'chomit shati yachal amisa. I know you can kill with any mistam lamar. Says the Torah mois yumas mikol makaim, any form of misa. So says the Gemara, seemingly the same thing should be if someone is tunneling into your house. So why does the Torah say that you have to kill him? Why does the Torah specify that the person digging the tunnel could be killed in any way. Response to Gemara, Shani Asa Damar Kol Mois, you must. And the klal is therefore you cannot learn out from the case of Goyal Adam or Retzeach because of the klal of Sheiksuim Habayim Kechad. Tanu Rabbana Amol Nashtikul Gemara Machteres Ili Ala Machteres. Only if the person digging into your house is through a tunnel. And how do you know if the burglar comes to those areas? If that is true, why did the first kid nation arrive? The Mitsuyim Machteres, that's the normal case, that's the regular case of someone is going to steal. Tani Yidach, another brace. Machteres, only Machteres. Kachosev give you minayin. Tamalam you might say again of Mikol Makom. In any case, came out Tamalam Machteres. Machteres Zuhi Atra Asai. The Machteres is his level of warning, and you're not going to have to give him another Hasra. And we're going to stop over here. I'll pick it up from Rav Kahana, Ravuna, the next year. Mirza Hashem.